My name is Kelvin, and until 3 years ago, I never believed in ghosts, demons, or anything supernatural. Now, I wish I still didn't. I was a commercial driver, operating between New York to Colorado Springs. One rainy Friday night, I left a crowd later than usual. Most passengers had already traveled earlier in the day because the weather was terrible. By 10:30 p.m., I had only one passenger. He was a tall man dressed entirely in black. His face was hidden beneath a hat, and he carried an old leather bag. He sat in the last row without saying a word. As we left the city lights behind, the rain intensified. Thunder shook the sky, and the road became nearly invisible. About an hour into the journey, I looked into my rearview mirror. The man was gone. I nearly drove into a ditch. There had been no stop, no sound of a door opening, no movement. Yet the seat was empty. We all raced. I pulled over and checked the bus. Nothing. No passenger, no bag, nothing. I convinced myself that fatigue was playing tricks on me. I got back behind the wheel and continued. 10 minutes later, I heard a voice behind me.
Driver. My blood froze. I looked in the mirror. The man was sitting exactly where he had been before. I slammed the brakes. The bus skidded sideways. The man never moved. "How did you get back there?" I shouted. He slowly raised his head. His eyes were completely white. Not bloodshot. Not pale. White. Like two pieces of bone. "Keep driving," he said. Every instinct told me to run. But something about his voice felt wrong, like many voices speaking together. I stepped on the accelerator. The rain hammered the windshield. The road seemed endless. Then I noticed something strange. The fuel gauge was dropping rapidly. Within minutes, the tank was nearly empty. That was impossible. I had filled it before leaving. Then the dashboard lights began flickering. The radio turned on by itself. A distorted voice emerged from the speakers. "Turn back." The voice repeated again and again.
Turn back. Turn back. The passengers started laughing. It was not human laughter. It sounded like crying, screaming, and laughter mixed together. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my hands bled. Suddenly, I saw a woman standing in the middle of the road. She wore a white dress soaked with rain. I swerved. The bus narrowly missed her. When I looked through the side mirror, she was still standing there, watching, smiling. But her smile stretched impossibly wide, almost from ear to ear. I pressed harder on the accelerator. The bus roared forward. Then came the smell. Rotting flesh, like a grave that had been opened. The odor filled the vehicle. I looked in the rearview mirror again. The passenger's skin was changing. His face appeared swollen and gray. Pieces of flesh hung from his cheeks. Maggots crawled from his mouth. And still he smiled. Then he spoke. "You should not have taken this road." Lightning flashed. For a brief second, I saw something sitting beside him. Another figure. And another. And another. The entire back of the bus was suddenly filled with silent passengers. Dozens of them. All soaking wet, all staring at me. All dead. Some had broken necks. Others had missing eyes. One woman's jaw hung loose from her face. Yet none of them blinked. The bus became ice cold. My breath turned white.
Every mirror showed those faces. Every seat was occupied. But when I turned around, the seats were empty. I was alone. Or so I thought. A hand suddenly landed on my shoulder. I screamed. I spun around.
The hand vanished, but the imprint remained on my shirt. A muddy handprint, as if someone had climbed out of a grave and touched me. At that moment, the engine died. The headlights went out. The bus rolled to a stop. Darkness swallowed everything. No moon, no stars, nothing. Then I heard footsteps outside. Slow, deliberate. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Something was circling the bus. I locked every door. The footsteps continued, around and around.
Then they stopped beside my window. I refused to look. A voice whispered from inches away. Kelvin. I had never told the passenger my name. Neither had anyone else that night. Yet the voice knew. Kelvin. The window fogged from the outside. A finger slowly wrote 3 words. Look at me. I shut my eyes. The bus shook violently. Metal screamed. Glass cracked. The voice became furious. Look at me! I kept my eyes closed. I began praying, louder and louder. The shaking intensified. Something slammed against the roof, then the side, then the front. The entire vehicle felt as if giant hands were trying to tear it apart. Suddenly, silence.
Complete silence. I opened my eyes. The engine started by itself. The headlights came on. The road was empty. No passenger. No footsteps. Nothing. I drove until sunrise. When I finally reached Colorado Springs, I stopped at a roadside cafe and told an elderly man what had happened. The old man listened carefully. Then his face turned pale. He asked me one question. Did this happen near mile 13?
I nodded. He slowly removed his cap.
30 years ago, he said.
A bus carrying 42 passengers crashed there during a storm. No one survived. My stomach dropped. What does that have to do with me? The old man looked directly into my eyes. People say the dead still travel that road, looking for a ride home. I never drove that route again. But that is not the worst part. 3 months later, I developed the film from an old dashboard camera that had been recording during the trip. The footage showed me driving alone. No passenger, no woman in white, no figures outside, nothing unusual.
Until the final frame. Just before the recording ended, the camera captured the reflection in my rearview mirror. Every seat behind me was occupied. 42 silent passengers. And sitting among them was me, smiling, with complete white